Welcome to The Explainer. I'm so thrilled you're joining me today because we're going to unpack something that's honestly deeply relevant to so many of us right now. Today we're looking at how people are navigating modern financial stress by examining some recent analytical findings. We're going to see what people are actually saying in their daily lives, and we'll explore the distinct ways folks are seeking out frameworks, specifically theological ones, to cope with economic challenges. It's a truly compelling look at human resilience, you know? It shows us exactly where people search for answers when the bank account literally runs dry. Okay, let's dive into this. I have money problems, and I don't know what to do. Wow. It's just a raw, incredibly honest statement, isn't it? When analysts listen to the real conversations people are having today, this is the sentiment that constantly bubbles up to the surface. This is a direct quote from the source text, and man, it just captures a feeling of pure overwhelm. When you strip away all the complex economic jargon about inflation or interest rates, you get right down to this fundamental human experience of scarcity. Hearing a quote like this presented so plainly, it really forces us to acknowledge the very real, very human anxiety that sits right at the heart of our current economic landscape.
So, the crucial point is that this feeling of overwhelm is far from an isolated incident. The findings we're examining state very clearly that financial pressure is one of the absolute biggest current issues identified in recent, widespread discussions. We're not just talking about a passing worry here. The source text identifies this as a dominant theme. It's a collective hurdle for us all. By looking at the data this way, we can see objectively that across various conversations, the sheer weight of financial burden is a unifying, albeit totally stressful, common denominator right now. It's literally the major hurdle people are trying to figure out how to jump over.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 1, Seeking Biblical Guidance.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the specific artifact that's emerged to address this exact scarcity. Because when people hit that wall of immense financial frustration, when they literally say they don't know what to do, they naturally start searching for a lifeline. They look for guidance, for structure, and frankly, for hope. And what the data tracks is a pivot toward traditional faith-based frameworks. Researchers actually found specific media directly titled, "When You Don't Have Enough, What Does the Bible Say?" This is a direct response to the frustration we were just talking about. Content creators and religious educators are stepping right into that space of anxiety and offering a structured theological framework as a potential solution. It shows a completely fascinating supply and demand dynamic in the realm of emotional and practical support. People are desperately asking what to do when their bank accounts are empty, and content like this is being generated to provide a specifically biblical lens on how to handle that exact painful scenario.
And this brilliantly illustrates that this intersection of deep financial anxiety and faith-based guidance is absolutely not happening in a vacuum, nor is it confined to some small niche. According to the source data, this phenomenon has a confirmed mainstream media footprint. The discussions and resources surrounding this topic have been noted by major global publications. They specifically cite The Guardian, alongside at least one other major referenced outlet. The fact that an outlet like The Guardian is part of this conversational footprint, well, that means this is a widespread societal trend. It tells us that the struggle to find meaning, relief, and guidance during financial hardship is a narrative significant enough to capture the attention of top-tier international journalism.
Which brings us to the ultimate question this leaves us pondering. When financial pressure mounts, where do people turn when they don't have enough? We've seen a pretty compelling turn toward biblical guidance for many, a search for ancient wisdom to solve modern stress. But honestly, it's a question that extends to all of us, no matter our background. What frameworks do we rely on? How does society as a whole support those who are out there voicing that they just don't know what to do? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today, and I'll leave you with that exact question to consider as you go about your day.